Psalm 54 is the third in this group of Psalms 52 through 60, which deal with David's personal enemies and frustrations and laments related to that. In this case, it's when David is betrayed by the Ziphites. He is being pursued by Saul, and the Ziphites betray David's location to Saul. The psalm is given the one-word title, Recoil, for the key idea here that evil returns upon the evildoer. The situation here is spelled out for us in the superscription. You can look in detail at 1 Samuel 23 for the entire context. But the Ziphites, these were foreigners, non-Israelites, who went to Saul and said, hey, David is hiding among the strongholds of Horish. And they betrayed him. Now, probably they were paid off for that. They got some money or something in return for that information. And fortunately, David is able to escape. The Philistines get involved at this point and draw Saul's attention away from pursuing David. And David instead finds a way to En-Gedi. That's a very refreshing spring in the desert. And another psalm will come out of that particular situation. But David perhaps writes this psalm following his escape as he looks back to the situation, how he was betrayed, and then yet how God delivered him once again through it. The psalm begins with a request addressed to Elohim. O God, save me by your name, vindicate me by your might. Hear my prayer, give ear to the words of my mouth. Here's his complaint. He's got strangers rising against him. That would be reference to the Ziphites. And notice their central motivating factor. They do not set God before themselves. They don't worship God. It is a common theme of Psalms 52, 53, 54, that the fool has said in his heart there's no God, or Doeg in Psalm 52, this mighty man who resists the rule of God. This is where it all begins. Those who do not worship, those who do not honor or believe God, this is the foundation of evil, of ruthlessness. But in the center of the psalm, we have verse 4, Behold, God is my helper. The Lord is the upholder of my life. And perhaps David is writing this after this experience, and he recalls how God has been his helper in the midst of this. Verse 5, this is the curse. We've seen one of these in each of these Psalms 52 through 60. He will return the evil to my enemies, and your faithfulness put an end to them. This is where we get the word recoil. He'll return the evil. That what a man sows, that will he also reap. That the evil that we intend to do to others will come back and get us. And this is the theme of so many movies, right? So many bad guys in the movie. We have such great satisfaction when we have that moment where all of the evil that they planned to do to someone else is returned upon themselves. And we actually smile, we cheer when this happens. And David is confident that that will happen to the Ziphites as well, that in God's faithfulness, they will be rewarded for the wrong that they have done, for their betrayal. And David instead will worship with the free will offering. I'll sacrifice to you. I'll give thanks to your name, for God has delivered me from every trouble, and my eye has looked in triumph on my enemies. This psalm could very easily be the prayer of Jesus as he went to the cross. If you think about it, Jesus was betrayed by his own friend, by Judas, and strangers risen against him, ruthless men. We think of Jesus on the cross and those that were crucifying him. And yet Jesus trusted in the Lord as his helper, the upholder of his life. And God indeed did deliver him from every trouble. And Jesus looks in triumph over all of his enemies, and the ultimate enemy being sin and death, and the one that wields the power of death, that is, the devil. This is a prayer of victory, of justice upon the psalmist's enemies.